Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancehall used to warm, sir. When Clinton Lindsay used to bust them, make them go on, sir. Whole heap of artists Clinton bring come up America. Some never know say Clinton Lindsay a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Whole heap of artists over them me can't remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out of our water to reggae artists around the world and from Jamaica. New York City where him used to do the radio.
Hi, welcome once again to another exciting episode of Reflections with Clinton Lindsay. And as usual, we have a very exciting host, and of course our guest. We're going to be introducing her in a few minutes. I'm going to take our first break. We have the South Florida Top 25 and the New York Top 30 chart presented by TC. And when we come back after the first break, oh man, we're talking to a living legend right after this.
This is Nigel Blair from BMG Tax and Accounting Services. Whether you're a small business owner, a manager at a medium-sized corporation, or a self-employed freelancer, the team at BMG Tax and Accounting Services is here for you. We offer comprehensive bookkeeping and tax services designed to keep your finances in check. Keeping track of your finances takes a fair amount of time, energy, and patience, and you probably have a lot of other things on your plate. So don't struggle to keep up with all that number crunching and paperwork. Our bookkeeping services are designed to make your life easier so you can focus on what you do best. At BMG, we're dedicated to client satisfaction, and we're prepared to go the extra miles to earn your business and trust. We pride ourselves on attention to detail in all that we do, and we're ready to put our skills and knowledge to work for you. For more information about our services or to schedule a consultation,
Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancehall used to warm, sir. When Clinton Lindsay used to bust them, make them go on, sir.
Hi, welcome back to Reflections with Clinton Lindsay. And as I said to you in the opening, we have a very special guest and the living legend in terms of Carlene Davis. Carlene Davis, welcome.
Oh, it's a joy and a pleasure to be with you today.
Listen,
Yes.
we have done a few radio interviews over the years.
That's right.
This is our first, and see with me, this is my first. I'm in my second month of doing this television show, so bear with me.
No problem. No problem.
Now, I usually like to go back the first time when I meet someone, and I'm gonna take you back to 1980. There was a show at the Beacon Theater in New York City, starring Dennis Brown.
That's right.
And special guest, I've heard the name before, because Ken Williams was playing your rendition of The Harder They Come.
That's right.
And my curiosity got the best of me, because I've seen Dennis over and over, but I wanted to see what this Carlene Davis looks like and sound like live. And my dear, when you came on stage, I knew I saw star quality, but I knew if more records come out, you will be what you have become today.
Amen.
Do you remember that event?
How can I forget it? It was my first major, having just finished Sunsplash 1980 at Ron Williams Center. Ken Williams was there, and I was just 1 foot in and 1 foot out between Canada and Jamaica.
Right.
And Ken was at the event, and he saw me and he said, "We'd love to have you at this event at Beacon Theater in New York." And I didn't hesitate, because I was getting my foot wet in the reggae industry from Jamaica, because prior to that I was based in Canada. So that song was recorded with Babsy Grange, who is now a Minister of Culture and Entertainment, while she was managing me in Canada. And she returned home, and I was just back and forth. So Beacon Theater was a huge open door for me.
Were you surprised at the reception you got, being that you were just coming out as you were explaining?
You know, I was excited. I felt very blessed because I was unknown to a lot of people, but there was something in my style of reggae that was attracting the reggae listeners.
Right.
You know, coming with something fresh and different. I mean, we had all the other female artists who were doing it. The Marcy is doing it. Sister Judy, Sister Rita, and all of them. And then here comes Carlene Davis with something different.
Now, when Ken approached you at Ronnie Williams Center, did he tell you were going to open for Dennis Brown?
I'm not sure what he told me. All I know was going to be in New York at the Beacon Theater. And that was enough for me because, of course, we all knew Dennis loved his music. And just being in New York in that setting, you know, and of course, right there we had the likes of Bob Marley, who was in New York working on his last album. And he was outside ready to come into the theater once the show started.
Almost came in, but with the excitement and the distraction.
And we know what the distraction was. And Dennis didn't show up for the night.
Yes. And that was just like the first time seeing you, and then I haven't forgotten what I saw that night. When I first got I was in college at the time.
Wow.
And I was on college radio.
Yes.
And in those days, Carly, I would have a press pass issued by the school, not by the New York Police Department. And, you know, you walk up and, you know, I'm Clinton Lindsay, I'm here to cover the show. And you show them your press pass. This is not New York Police. $35. So I have to pay my money in those days.
Oh my goodness.
But another thing with you now, first time I got on public radio, my first day I was able to play, I think, 12 songs. And on that list, you know what? You had a song that was so outstanding at the time. The song was Like Old Friends Do. You were on my playlist for my first radio show in New York City. So long may I follow you?
Yeah, man, a long time.
Like Old Friends Do was on my playlist with other songs, Gregory Isaacs, Tune In, and those other things. But over the years, you have become one of the outstanding female vocalists. What, you know, and as you know, it's a male-dominated business. Was it hard for you to get established?
You know, I didn't look at the hard side of it. I looked at every open door that I saw. And every time I stepped in, I just gave my 110%. Because I knew that I had sacrificed so much up until then, gave up my 9 to 5 and said this was it. Come hell or high water, as the expression goes, that I was going to make it in this industry. And so even returning to Jamaica was a sacrifice, because at one point I was still paying rent in Canada and paying rent in Jamaica, trying to survive off the little that was coming in. But I didn't watch that. I just saw it as sowing seeds. And with every opportunity and every open door that I saw, I stepped in and gave my best.
Were you know, with that said, what I think opened the door, and I'm sure just about everybody would agree, Paul Kelly of this wicked, it was one of those underground hits in New York. You go to private parties, you go to basement parties, and there was a song called Stealing Love on the Side. And when I heard Ken Williams play that song, I said, Carlene Davis. That's Carlene Davis. First of all, how did you come by choosing that song, and why did you?
I'm going to do it, try and reduce it
please.
And give it to you. I heard the song while I was in Canada. My girlfriend, Lil, every time I went over to visit her, she says, here's this song. I love it. Why don't you do it? And I said, I don't like the message. I'm not, you know. I come to Jamaica now, and Babsy's managing me. And Tommy and I, we started, you know, I got to know Tommy, and Tommy's working at Tough Gong as the marketing manager with Bob Marley. And he said, Carlene, he called me one morning and he said, I hear this song, but it's you I hear singing it, nobody else but Carlene. It's your voice I hear in it. And he said, let's go in the studio. I said, okay, let's talk to Babsy and see how we can work it out. And then Tommy called me back a few days later and said, guess what? I can't produce this song because what's his name? Tyrone Taylor had done a version, and it was just now being released by Tough Gong. And he said,
I didn't know Tyrone Taylor did a version.
I can't do it. Is that what? That's correct, Tom. He says, I can't do it. I don't think it's right. So he called Neville Lee, and he said, Neville, I hear this song. I think you need to call Carlene and let her record the song because I know it's a hit. And that's how that song was recorded.
So with that background, were you surprised of how that song went international?
Well, you need to ask, why did I choose to sing that song at that time?
And so convincingly.
Yes, what happened is I had a dream just days before, amazingly, that I had this song. I heard the dream says it's time for you to go in the studio.
Right.
And I says, wow. So when Tommy called me, I said, well, this must be the song. So I didn't look at the message of the song. I said, okay, I just need to go and do this song.
Right,
that's what we did. And how it happened, I was doing the North Coast, singing the North Coast hotels, just to tie in until my recording career in Jamaica took off. And I remember coming in, flying back from doing some gig on the North Coast into Kingston, and went straight from the flight into the studio to record this song.
So was it late at night?
You know, that...
What mood were you in? Because
I think I had a cold. I remember I had a bit of a stuffiness in my vocals. And so you can hear it in the song, but that, whatever happened with the sound and the tone of my voice,
magical.
it's just magical.
Yes.
And I didn't get caught up with the fact that, oh no, I can't go in the studio because I have a cold. For me, I just needed to do what I had to do. I know the timing was right, and it was time to move. And all of the elements came together with Lloyd Parks on bass, right, Tommy? I think Robbie Lynn on keyboards, and who else was on it? Who else was playing drums? I think it was Devon Richardson at the time from We the People. And
I mean, all the right people were in place.
Were in place for that.
It has now become, in a way, your signature song.
Signature song in so many different genres.
Because I remember like 3 years ago you sent me
a modified, transformed version of that song, because to tell you the truth, we had a show in Barbados, a festival in Barbados, and I was told that that was a song that they were using because it was about icons of reggae. And when I was doing the interview, when I was rehearsing for the show, Tommy said, you know what, we need to prepare a version that speaks of where you are today as a child of God, you know, and explain to your audience that this is where I was, but this is where I am now. And that's what we did. And once the drum roll took off, the people ran to the front of the stage. Of course, they got a new version of it, and they were just as excited. And I heard when I left the platform, they just went straight into the original. The sound man just dropped
out of respect, of course. Out of respect. And your
praising God all the time. That's the new version.
That's the new version.
Yes.
And your journey is a very interesting one, because when I hear you do song like Brother Bob, and another song that was a song that had a message that was unreal at the time was Winnie Mandela. And you know, at that time, most Jamaican artists, most of them were doing tribute songs to Mandela, and he was still in prison. Did you expect the kind of reaction for Winnie Mandela? I mean, even the video was one of the most watched videos in Jamaica.
Thank you. I just think, you know, when you have a conviction, you're not looking at what might or could. You just felt it was time to make a statement in what you believe in and support the cause. Because everything you do, you should have a humanitarian arm to it. And I believe that song, Winnie Mandela, which was drawing people, because we never saw Nelson in prison, but we saw Winnie on the streets fighting and speaking up, and then how we ended up singing that song, or Tommy writing that song. He came off tour 1 year of Reggae Sunsplash with a book, and the title of that book was her autobiography that said, Part of My Soul Went With Him. And it was speaking of her life with with Nelson. From the day they met, they get married, and he was thrown in jail. And we both broke down. We were just totally in tears, literally. Oh, wow. And Tommy came back with the lyrics of that song off tour, and he said, I need to finish this song. And we did just that. Went in the studio and recorded it. And we just felt we had a responsibility to support the fight against apartheid.
I was told in 1993, after Mandela was released on his first trip to Jamaica, a few birdies told me one of the Prime Minister and the Minister of all of that thing, but they wanted to meet Carlene Davis.
Yes, yes.
How was that? You did meet with them, and how was it?
It was like, you just felt, oh my God, you just never thought you'd live to see, because he had been languishing in prison for so long. We just thought it would never happen in our lifetime. Right. And just to see them and to stand with them and for them to say it was your music. And it wasn't just my music they meant, the music from Jamaica that helped to motivate and strengthen them to know that they're not alone. Right. You know, and I have a wonderful picture of Winnie embracing me. Oh. I treasure that.
You know what? I wish I was like a fly on the wall. When you first met you and Winnie, what did you say to her? What did she say? Remember what?
There was just so much going on. There were so many people in the room, but it was just the hug. That hug said it all. You know, and she whispered in my ear and just say, your music, thank you for your music. Your music was what strengthened me through the process, you know. And if you remember when they drove in on the Motorcade International Stadium, it was the song in tribute to Nelson now called Welcome Home, Mr. Mandela.
I was about to bring that up, because then you got the Jamaicans to provide background vocals on that song.
Yes.
And that was the first time. I remember playing that song, and yeah, it's Carlene, but my excitement for that song was that you had the original Jamaicans.
It was Tommy and, and we recorded it in England. That song was recorded in England when we heard of his release from prison. We were in England doing an album, and we recorded that song. And when he arrived at the National Stadium, there was such an uproar.
Yes.
It was a free event.
Yes.
The whole nation was welcome, but people were scaling the wall. Yeah. So it was causing such a ruckus.
Yeah, first come, first serve. Because I remember when he came to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx.
Yes.
It was the same reaction. I mean, the place was packed.
Exactly. And Babsy, to avoid any major, incident, because the police had to rush towards the crowd to push them back to avoid any upheaval. And Babsy rushed and says, Carlene, I know it's not time for you to go and stage it, because at the time she led the Jamaica Cultural Development Association. She ran backstage and said, Carlene, you have to come on stage now. And she brought on all the other artists who were due to be on, and we all sang, Welcome home, Mr. Mandela, welcome home.
No, memories, it's just great memories. One of the things that I admire about you, Carlene, you tend to be one of those artists that really study the craft of what you do. Like, I can't say I've known any bad songs that you have put out. I remember, I think it was 1982, 83, the festival competition. And you had a song called One People. What is the name of the song?
Okay. One People was in tribute, it was for our Jamaica 21st independence. But I also had entered festival with a song called Love and Harmony.
Love and Harmony.
1982.
1982.
Yes.
Now, One People was a song very patriotic. You wrote that song, or tell me?
It was written by a friend of mine called Pat Persad.
Okay, yes,
and she had the song, and she says, Carlene, I don't know, I just hear you singing this song. And so we decided to do it.
When you decide to record, because you do original and you do adaptations. When you do adaptations, what do you look for in a song?
I'm led to re-record someone else's song when it impacts my life. Okay. When you've had a personal experience with it. Just like Old Friends Do. Or
but that's You do such a good job with that song that people like me and other experts will know it's a cover song, but the average person
wouldn't know.
Would not know.
Because we extended it. We revamped it and added bridge to it because and just to make it your own. To make it your own.
You take it very seriously. Like if you're gonna adapt a song, you just don't adapt it as is.
As is. You make it your own. Because what's the point? It has to come from within, from your heart.
Right.
And one people, you know, I just want to say this, as a Jamaican who grew up, left Jamaica as a child, went to England, Canada, and then back home. When you're, the whole thing, you just want to be part of who you are, no matter where you are. And then when I came back to Jamaica, I just wanted to lay my foundation because I'd left, you know, when I was so young. And so One People was my reflection of
coming back home.
Coming back home.
Right.
For we are one people, we come from many lands, sad and happy years are gone. Celebrating 21, out of many, we are one.
Now let me ask you, you talk about this a lot in stuff that I've read about, you've seen you on TV. When you left Jamaica to, your first place you went was England.
Yes.
Why was that?
Well, my parents had migrated, and so we were left with our grandparents, as most Jamaicans in Caribbean, you know, with a family member. So that's what brought us home, what brought us into England to join my parents.
How long were you there
I did nearly 10 years in England.
And then
I did high school and college, and then moved on to Canada.
And why Canada?
I had an opportunity to visit, and I stayed.
You liked it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where my career became more full-time and on a professional level. But I was dabbling in England from I was in high school, part of this school band, and I had an all-girls school band. And then, of course, on the weekends, I used to be part of a group called the Toreadors. It's like a two-man band.
Who was in that group?
I was just a male and a female, two guys and myself.
And yourself, okay.
It's almost like a two-man band with me leading.
In some of your songs, you talk about the restriction from listening to radio in your home. That was in Jamaica. You couldn't listen to the radio. It's just church and
certain songs. You know, because of the upbringing, it was strict and not so strict. You had a freedom. Because my grandfather was an avid musician, so he played out before we were born. He used to be like one of those guys that did the street dances. You know, came back from Cuba with a whole heap of instruments: a cello, guitar, clarinet, saxophone, and so I was his singer. We played every evening, and I would be his lead
My
vocalist.
question to you, what instrument do you play?
I dabble with the guitar.
You dabble?
Yes, I dabble. I help myself.
Your father there with all these instruments, your grandfather Carlene, and you only dabble?
I dabble and dabble, and I write with it. I write a lot of my songs with it, and every now and again I'll pick up the guitar on a live presentation,
Now, let's go to the early 90s. You had a song called Dial My Number. And Dial My Number, I remember playing that song, the straight reggae version of it. And then a couple months later, them sent me, I think it was Profile or whosoever sent me a remix version of it.
So it was G Street Records, who are now called G Jam Music,
And that was a different song. Now that song took you to a different demographic, a different audience. What was that like when, you know, hip-hop community started playing that song? And
it was exciting because it's what you dream of, to get that breakthrough in mainstream radio, and so it was an exciting time for me. You know, it was the David Morales mix of Dial My Number, and then there was a British version, Flexx mix for the British market.
I didn't know that, really.
Yes, and that's another take, another amazing take.
I mean, that song must have sold a good, must have gone gold when you put all the numbers together.
Yes, it did.
It did.
It opened doors. It opened many doors. You know, BET was rocking it. Both the video and of course, but it
Hip Hop Radio in New York City
Yes.
was also doing that song.
Yes.
So I remember about 1997, I got a call from X News. I was writing for X News. Could be 96, 97. And they told me I need to come to Jamaica because I was the only one they could think to cover this event. And I'm like, with all the people there, who have done them, me if you come to Jamaica? No, they said, no, Mr. Lindsay, you know the history. It was Carlene Davis, Judy Mowat, Junior Tucker, at that school right off of the turn Washington Boulevard, that high school.
You mean
Constant Spring Road.
Yes. Merle Grove.
Yes. That's when I was told that there gotta be a major gospel concert.
Right.
You remember that?
It was one of our first or earlier breakthrough as Glory Music when we had recommitted our lives, and they sent for you. Oh my God!
Yeah,
I remember seeing you in the parking lot. Yes.
Yes, exactly. I reviewed that show.
So it was me and Judy were the main acts.
Yes.
And possibly San.
Yes, San was on it. Junior Tucker
and Junior was backstage.
Yes.
Not yet committed.
Okay.
But was just in tears backstage.
Right.
And we just knew God was doing a work through him. And he asked, we said, would you like to come up and just sing a song?
Right.
And he did. And that was where he just said, yes,
When did you get your moment? I've spoken to quite a few artists who have, have their conversion or committed. When did you get yours and how do you know it was?
It was in 1996 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I knew there was nowhere else to go but to run to the Lord.
Right.
With all the love and support that I have with Tommy, my husband, and my family, and the body of Christ, the church, because I was attending church nevertheless, but it was more like one foot in and one foot out. But that was when I said, God, I'm through with running from you. I look to you, I run to you, use me as your vessel.
Right.
And that was my prayer to the Lord.
Nice. And since then, I know you got, like the rest of them, got a lot of criticism, career failed, and more money than so on. Did that ever bother you when you hear people say those things?
You know what? It didn't bother me because I said I know where I've been, where I am, and where I'm going, and I know what I've been through. So I can't watch what man is saying and doing. I have to stay focused on who I am and who I am in Christ, and let him lead me. And I laugh at it now. It's funny that you share that. I laugh at that because I said it's not the first time that I had made my commitment as a younger person coming up and I walked away. So I was just saying, ain't nothing gonna separate me from this love of God.
Great. We could sit here and talk.
But you said something.
Yeah.
And I have to say it. I missed it. What, in terms of how I'm able to sing and deliver my music and record, God has blessed me with some great people. And I must say, people like my husband, Tommy Cowan.
Yes.
Who was able to invest in me, even what you see on stage and what we do from the recording studio, he has a lot to do with it to bring out the best in me, and others like Babsy Grange who I've worked for before, working with Tommy, and so many others.
What's the relationship with you and Babsy now? I know she's like the most active, successful minister. When people from both sides can say she are the best. I hear it said by people from the PMP side and artists on the GLP side. What's your relationship with her now?
Beautiful. I mean, we do share a lot. She draw on me for a lot, and I draw on her when there's a need. And we're like family. We're like family because she's also the godmother to my son. So
Speaking about your son, how is your mini-me?
My mini-me, she is absolutely fabulous.
Oh, she is fantastic.
Yes. I give God thanks for what God is doing through her, and that she has humbled herself to learn from us, and is using it to her advantage.
And your last album, Blood.
The Assignment. The Assignment is my last album.
That was like a different album. That was from the previous album, the one before the
Dripping Blood was the one that made it. Was went as far as number 2 on the Billboard reggae chart.
I remember
Stayed
that.
there for over 10 weeks in the top 10.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right, right. And the assignment did well for you also.
It's still, I mean, I just ministered in church yesterday, and can I tell you, the response online is just amazing when I hit that song.
Right,
the assignment God has for me
I play that
is greater than what man thinks. And we recorded it before COVID, but the line that says, there's a battle going on, but I have my assignment.
Yes.
Trying to what is it, Tommy?
My destiny.
Trying to steal my destiny.
But
I have my assignment.
I just played that song last week sometime saying where you have your assignment, you just have your assignment.
No matter what.
And one of your songs, and I remember talking to you about it in one of my radio interviews with you. When it comes to DJing, you don't joke with that, Carly. What you learn for DJ, sir?
Well, when you have people like Papa San around, you know, over the years, it's hard, and you learn from those.
Yeah, that song with Lady Saw.
Yes. Pray for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And you were just kicking up. I'm like, hey, Carly, watch it, because Lady Saw is supposed to be the DJ, and you were just DJing on that, but. You have a new song now that we just got last week. Jah will wipe away all the tears. Tell us about that.
Well, we're in the process of doing another album. And during COVID, we've been locked in the studio. There was nowhere else to go, eh?
Wow.
So we've been working on some songs, and this song just stuck out. We've not finished the album yet, but this song, it was just spontaneous, the melody that was flowing. Tommy was laying the demo, and I joined him in the studio, just adding songs, and we're saying, wait, what's going on here with this song? We the studio at home, and we said, no, we have to let it go now, and the timing is perfect. We're just coming out of that serious lockdown of COVID, and so many people have lost their loved ones and are still challenged. But we're just reminding ourselves that no matter what, it is the word of God that says he will wipe away all tears. When we believe and trust and just walk in faith and his peace that passes all understanding to guard our hearts and mind, he shall wipe away. Just trust him.
Now, you're
and it's in Nyabingi, as you know.
Yes. You were in town for this big show this past weekend, and even though you didn't perform per se, but it was nice seeing you, and I want to thank you for passing through the studio.
It was a joy.
This is my first television show. I'm in my second month.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
But you and Tommy like I said, I first saw you 42 years ago.
Ooh.
Look at number on it. 1980.
Wow.
And I've been very supportive because I just like what you're doing.
Thank you.
I just want to say, continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And as soon as you mix and master, you have my email, I have everything for me.
You know, I know where to find you. You know where to find me. So.
And when I come to Jamaica sometime July or August, I'm going to call up you guys.
Please.
And
so we can do something while you're there.
Last time I was down, as a matter of fact, you came by the hotel to see me.
That's right.
You and Tommy came by the, Pegasus?
That's right.
Pegasus.
That's right. Well, God bless you and thank you, and we look forward to another opportunity where we can just share.
Yes. Carlene Davis.
And look forward to Fun in the Sun, South Florida.
Yes. Just give me all the information. How does it feel when people refer to you as a living legend? What kind of feeling is that?
I don't know. I take it in strides because I say, to whom much is given, much is required. So when you say, I see it as legacy. Passing on what I have learned to the next generation.
And you're doing that quite well with your mini-me.
Mini-me, Naomi, Paradise Plum.
Yeah, she looks, when people see her, they see you.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no, I wonder. It's just so plain to see.
That's the grace of God. That's the grace of God.
Thank you very
so much. God bless you. Thank you for having us.
Sure. So that's it. Carlene Davis. As I said, each week we try to have outstanding guests. Here we are with a living legend. And we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to come back with the South Florida Top 25 and the New York Top 30 after these words.
Here with you.
This is Nigel Blair from BMG Tax and Accounting Services. Whether you're a small business owner, a manager at a medium-sized corporation, or a self-employed freelancer, the team at BMG Tax and Accounting Services is here for you. We offer comprehensive bookkeeping and tax services designed to keep your finances in check. Keeping track of your finances takes a fair amount of time, energy, and patience, and you probably have a lot of other things on your plate. So don't struggle to keep up with all that number crunching and paperwork. Our bookkeeping services are designed to make your life easier so you can focus on what you do best. At BMG, we're dedicated to client satisfaction and we're prepared to go the extra miles to earn your business and trust. We pride ourselves on attention to detail in all that we do, and we're ready to put our skills and knowledge to work for you. For more information about our services or to schedule a consultation,
come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancehall used to warm, sir. When Clinton Lindsay used to bust them, make them want, sir.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. And what we're going to do next now, we're going to take a look at the South Florida Top 25 chart with the one and only TC.
Good afternoon and welcome to Reflections with Clinton Lindsay. Now, it's that time to count down the 25 most played songs here in South Florida. Now here's a look at your top 25. We do have some brand new entries to the chart this week. Checking in at number 25, Bless Me Still by Derek Scott. Checking in at the number 24 spot, a brand new entry by Gramps Morgan. It's called Butterfly. Another new entry at the number 23 position, In Case You Didn't Know by Anthony Malvo. Here is another new entry at the number 22 position, Fall in Love by Ginger. Number 21, Let Me Please You by Novelty and Peter G. Number 20, Loyalty by Mikey General. Checking in at the number 19 position, Reverse the Curse by Richie Stevens. This song peak position was number 1 for 4 weeks in a row. Number 18, Collyweed by the ATF Band. This song peak position was number 2. Checking in at the number 17 spot, Original Culture, DJ Brigadier Jerry. And number 16 this week, Brown Eyes by Leroy Sibbles. Number 15 on the chart, Grown Woman by Upton Linda with Peter G. Number 14, Missing You by Sunshade. Checking in at the number 13 spot, Kingston Traffic by Naomi Cohen. Number 12, Save the Children by Hezron. Number 11, Troublemaker by Lati Gozeng. And now, here's a look at the 10 most played song on the South Florida Top 25 Reggae Chart Countdown. After spending 6 weeks on the chart, last week this song registered at the number 13 position, moved 3 places up the chart to be your number 10 song this week. It's Always and Forever by Leroy Dan Smart on the WWS record label.
Always and forever, each moment with you is just like a dream to me. That somehow came true, yeah. And I know tomorrow will still be the same. We got a life of love that won't ever change, girl.
Last week, this song checked in at the number 10 spot, moved 1 place up the chart to be your number 9 song this week, Every Day of My Life by Robert French on the MRE Productions record label.
A kiss is just a kiss when I'm with somebody else. You don't know how I miss having you to myself. A total different world with you all the way out there. Too long has been the wait. Had a little brother when you bring my share. Every day of my life will be I just loving you. Spend the rest of my life always I just loving you.
After spending 9 weeks on the chart, last week this song registered at the number 8 spot, still holding down the number 8 position. We're talking about Love About You by Papa San on the beloved group Music record label.
The roses no red and the violets no blue, and some use them tongue and chop me into you, make everything new. That me love about you, what that me love about you, what that me love about you. When some count me out 5, 4, 3, 2, say me not go make it, me not know what me a do. You increase my revenue. That me love about you, that me love about you, what that me love about you.
This next song has been in the chart for 17 weeks. Last week it checked in at the number 1 spot, moved 6 places down the chart to be your number 7 song. I'm talking about Don't Do It by Upton Lindo, Marcia Griffiths and Freddie McGregor on the Ira Penn Records label. Here's one to watch. This song has been in the chart for 7 weeks. Last week it registered at the number 9 spot, moved 3 places up the chart to be your number 6 song this week. It's guaranteed to move. Hey, wait! The song is called Guaranteed by Christopher Martin on the VP record label.
She's so nice. Love how she no fussy, she's just living her life. She tell me that she wants to go to country tonight. She wants to see where I'm from, she wants to go for a ride. Next day we go I'll shop, running screechy. We had a food and then we see down and I easy till she hear the music. I'm fling her shoulder to how she go and who that thinks that she a rave. Oh, when you are far with me, a good time is guaranteed.
This song has been in the chart for 10 weeks. Last week it registered at the number 6 spot, moved 1 place up the chart to be your number 5 song this week. It's Close to You by Marcia J. Ball on the Project 9 production record label.
Why two birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Here's a steady mover. Last week this song registered at the number 5 spot, moved 1 place steadily up the chart to be your number 4 song this week. It's Don't Let Her Take by Empress Unique with Luthen Fire on the Bright Beam record label.
Let me tell you something, my boy. Speak your mind, treat me right, I'll be good to you. For a love like mine's you'll never find. No matter where you go, so don't let her take you away from me.
After spending 11 weeks on the chart, last week this song hold down the number 4 position, moved 1 place up the chart to be your number 3 song this week. It's Plain Money Games by Terry Linen on the Todd's record label.
We can't take the stress with you and money, cause only when you're broke you call man honey. You get your wagga wagga and your floss and donny. You're paying for hype and fame. Me give you money last week up a Whitehall, and as me wake this morning, me see you miss call. Your voice don't leak like you're in a mall. You're playing money games.
I'm telling you, you should watch out for this. This song has been on the chart for 12 weeks. Last week it checked in at the number 3 spot, moved 1 place up the chart to be your number 2 song this week. It's 50 by Tanya Stevens and Patra on the Todd's record label.
Want a body when I keep in a gypsy, but when me sober, worse when me tipsy. And if you think we're bad, no, wait till you see our.
And now, here's your number 1 song for this week on the South Florida Top 25 Reggae Chart Countdown. After spending 16 weeks on the chart, last week this song hold down the number 2 spot, move 1 place up the chart to be your number 1 song. It is Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City by Ambalik on the Heavy Beat record label.
Ain't no love in Kingston City. There ain't no love in the country towns. There ain't no love and it's sure not from pity. City ain't no love, nowhere to be found. Not long ago, everything was so good. Caught your lovely love, this old neighborhood. Now it's all gone. Say the sun don't shine from the city hall to the county line. That's why I say ain't no love in Kingston City.
There you have it. Number 1 for the second week in a row. Mr. Ambalik with a song entitled Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. Congratulations, my brother. Stick and stay with us. We'll be right back with the Foundation Radio Network Top 30 Reggae Chart Countdown. Alright, thank you so very much. Now it's time to look at the Foundation Radio Network Top 30 Reggae Chart Countdown. We have some brand new entry on the chart this week. Coming in at number 30, a brand new entry by Leroy Sibbles. It's called Brown Eyes. Number 29, Ali Baba by George Nooks. Coming in at number 28, another new entry, original song by one veteran, Sanchez. Number 27 this week, Fade Away by Kabaka Pyramid featuring Buju Banton, Junior Biles. Number 26, Butterfly by Grumps Morgan. Checking in at number 25 this week, Should I by Donna V. Number 24, Delilah by Richard Stevens. Checking in at number 23, In Case You Didn't Know by Anthony Malvo. Number 22, For Tonight by D Major. Number 21 this week, Don't Let Her Take by Empress Unique featuring Luthen Fire. Number 20, Africa by Timmy Love. Checking in at the number 19 position, Original by Culture, DJ Brigadier Jerry. Number 18, Butter Bread by Michael Rose. Checking in at the number 17 spot, Don't Play Me by Sugar. Number 16 this week, The Mood by Busy Signal. Number 15, Kingston Traffic by Naomi Cohen. This song peak position was number 3. Number 14 on the chart, The Tide Is High by Julian Marley. This song peak position was number 2. Number 13, Save the Children by Ezron. Checking in at the number 12 spot, Every Day of My Life by Robert French. Number 11, Glory to His Name by Turbulence. And now, here's a look at the 10 most played songs on the Foundation Radio Network Top 30 Reggae Chart Countdown. After spending 8 weeks on the chart last week, this song registered at the number 12 spot. Moved 2 places up the chart to be your number 10 song this week. It's Guaranteed by Christopher Martin on the VP Records label.
I'm a girl bougie, but she's so nice. Love how she no fussy, she's just living her life. She tell me that she wants to go to country tonight. She wants to see where I'm from, she wants to go for a ride. The next day we go a El Shah, Berlin Screechy. We had a food and then we see the man easy till she hear the music and fling her shoulder. To how she go and who that thinks that she a raver. Oh, when you are far with me, a good time is guaranteed. Build up your vibes and get tired. Tonight we are going to touch a party.
Last week, this song registered at the number 10 spot. Moved 1 place up the chart to be your number 9 song this week. It's Love About You by Papa San on the beloved group Music record label.
When the rose is no red and the violets no blue, and some use them tongue and chop me into, you make everything new. That me love about you, what that me love about you, what that me love about you. When some count me out 5, 4, 3, 2, say me not go make it, me not know what me a do. You increase my revenue. That me love about you, that me love about you, what that me love about you.
After spending 8 weeks on the chart, last week this song registered at the number 9 spot. Moved 1 place up the chart to be your number 8 song this week. It is Plain Money Games by Terry Linen on the Tots record label.
Can't take the stress with you and money, cause only when you broke you call man honey. You get the wagga wagga and you floss and dunny. You paying for hype and fame. Me give you money last week up a Whitehall, and as me wake this morning, me see you miss call. Your voice don't leak like you're the in a mall. You playing money games.
Last week, this song registered at the number 3 spot. Moved 4 places down the chart to be your number 7 song this week. It's Missing You by Sunshade.
Girl, what did I say to make you mad?
Say to make you mad.
Girl, what did I do to make you sad? Tell me, baby. Girl, what did I do to make you blue? Tell me, darling. See, I can't believe that we all through.
This song has been on the chart for 16 weeks. Last week it registered at the number 2 spot. Moved 4 places down the chart to be your number 6 song this week. It's Don't Do It by Upton Lindo, Marcia Griffiths and Freddie McGregor on the Ira Pens record label. This song has been on the chart for 17 weeks. It has spent 8 weeks out of that 17 at the number 1 spot. Last week it was number 1. Moved 4 places down the chart to be your number 5 song this week. I'm talking about Reverse the Curse by Richard Stevens on the Boom Rich Productions record label.
Everybody sing along now. Reverse the curse to where it's coming from. Turn it back as fast as you can. 'Cause Father God, you know their malicious intentions. So send it back to center and mash up their plans. Yeah.
Last week, this song registered at the number 6 spot. Moved 2 places up the chart to be your number 4 song this week. I'm talking about Loyalty by Mikey General on the Reality Shock Music record label.
Loyalty is such a rarity. Can't even get it from your family. Cause when the pot starts simmer, it's all about the glamour and the glitter. Loyalty is now a novelty. The That's why I'm a put my trust in the Almighty. Cause when it all boils down, only Jah will be around.
After spending 13 weeks on the chart, last week this song registered at the number 5 spot, moved 2 places up the chart to be your number 3 song this week. It is Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City by Ambalik on the Heavy Beat record label.
Ain't no love in Kingston City. There ain't no love in the country towns. There ain't no love, and it's sure enough for pity. City ain't no love, nowhere to be found.
This song has been in the chart for 14 weeks. Last week it registered at the number 4 spot, moved 2 places up the chart to be your number 2 song this week. It is Leroy the Don Smart with Always and Forever on the WWS Records label.
Always and forever, each moment with you is just like a dream to me. That somehow came true, yeah. And I know tomorrow will still be the same. We got a life of love that won't ever change, girl. Every day, love me your own special way. Melts all my heart away with a smile.
And now, here's a look at your number 1 song for this week on the Foundation Radio Network Top 30 Reggae Chart Countdown. After spending 9 weeks on the chart, this song registered at the number 7 spot last week. Moved 7 places up the chart to be your number 1 song this week is Tanya Stephens and Patra with 50. All courtesy of Todd's record label.
If you think we bad now, tell them son, who you tell me that 50, them go see you old a big woman, you're so frisky. Want a bread that we knock it in a Dixie, but when me sober, worse when me tipsy. And if you think we bad now, wait till you see half a century. And when I do some big woman, I make a entry. And we are swiggy any buckle till he empty. Keep up the behavior, we upset the gentry. Yo, lock we down from before we teach. Before we full out the Ferlucci. Before we put price with kidney beats. Before we have a chance in our wildest screens. And when we touch 20, have a little money but we never have plenty. Couldn't afford to buy cars so we rent it. You know we would have get Netflix with empty. Forward over 30. And every chatty mouth a call we flirty. No matter how much time them call we dirty. Still have a fit 25 where you work it.
There you have it. 50 has never looked and sound that good by Tanya Stephens and Patra. 2 great in the business. I've got the opportunity to speak with Tanya Stephens over the weekend last week in Jamaica, especially there in Ocho Rios, and I'm telling you, trust me, no, you think she did ready then? She already know. When she say, are you not ready for this yet? I really talk. I think you're ready for her yet. Trust me, Tanya, Patra, 50, number 1 right here on the Foundation Radio Network Top 30 Reggae Chart Countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, while you continue to watch Flexx TV, we will continue to reflect with Mr. Clinton Lindsay. Thank you for watching Reflections.
All right, thank you very much, TC. And again, congratulations to Sugar. 2nd week at number 1, Dear Mr. Government. And that's it, folks. I want to thank Carlene Davis for passing through. And again, we'll be back with you next week, same time right here on Flexx TV with Reflections with Clinton Lindsay. Enjoy the rest of the week. Take care.
Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancehall used to warm, sir. When Clinton Lindsay used to bust them, make them want, sir. Whole heap of artists Clinton bring come up America. Some never know say Clinton Lindsay a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Whole heap of artists, nobody me can remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out of our water to reggae artists around the world and from Jamaica. New York City where him used to make me tell you about the things